Now at 5, volunteers gather to clean up a popular trail in Joplin. Plus, Kansas Governor Kelly signs a bill into law aimed at combating fentanyl overdose deaths. And
the clock is ticking down to the end of Title 42 and new asylum restrictions. I'm Nicole Skanga in Brownsville, Texas, covering how border communities like this one are handling the change.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some workers from a local real estate company today volunteered to clean up a trail in Joplin. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Dow Quick. Frisco Greenway Trail in Joplin today got a major cleanup by local Keller Williams volunteers on their Red Day, as they decided to help and donate $5,000 for the Joplin Trails Coalition to work on the trail. Volunteers helped with projects such as extending and outlining the parking lot, trimming branches, building a handicapped accessible bridge, and installing a guardrail. And the volunteers hope trail users notice those changes.
I hope they see that the canopy is opened up a little bit, that it's a little bit easier for them to walk and run without having to dodge low-hanging limbs, and just see that, this is a place that we live. We want to keep it beautiful, and that people put a lot of hard work and dedication into it.
The Joplin Trails Coalition President Bob Herbst says a day like this speeds up the trail maintenance by years. The Carthage Technology Center's carpentry class is building brighter futures. The center provides hands-on learning for students in Carthage and the surrounding schools. Building items like sheds in class can help students get a feel for their future careers. After the projects are complete, they auction them off to replace the money it costs for the materials.
Our school doesn't offer that, so it's nice to come here in the morning and be able to work. And like I said, he's a good teacher, he's smart, he's good at his job, and you get hands-on experience with everything you do here.
The Carthage Technology Center carpentry class has 2 10-by-10 storage sheds for sale. Bids are due by noon tomorrow. Northeastern Oklahoma A&M College seniors are graduating today, tonight at 7. For many, this is going to be like any other graduation commencement, but for the nursing students, well, today's events had an extra flair. The school today hosted a pinning ceremony for graduating nurses. It marks an important milestone in their journey to becoming fully registered nurses and the culmination of a lot of work.
I think nursing students by nature go through a long journey while they're at NEO. There's a lot of tradition in the fact that they get pinned in the healthcare industry, and our nurses look forward to this from the day they start the program until the day they end.
The pinning ceremony is a tradition for nursing school graduates dating back to the 12th century. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Well, of course, we had some scattered showers, even a few thunderstorms during the morning hours, and then the afternoon it's cleared out, and it's actually a pretty nice afternoon. Big severe threat across central Kansas down through central parts of Oklahoma, but we may get some strong severe storms in here, especially on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. This is going to be later on tonight, mainly 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m. We'll keep all the threats on the slight side right now, but still something we want to watch as we go through the evening hours. All right, morning showers and thunderstorms, these are gone. You got tornado watch out across western Kansas and then down through parts of Oklahoma. And this is what we want to watch to see if anything around Oklahoma City can pop up and start to work in late this evening. So we do have a thunderstorm threat tonight, and then again tomorrow. We're going to break this all down for you here in a bit.
All right, we'll catch you in a few. State of Kansas today decriminalized fentanyl test strips. The strips can be used to detect the presence of fentanyl in other substances. Until now, they'd been considered drug paraphernalia, and they were illegal in Kansas. Governor Laura Kelly says the decriminalization will help prevent overdose deaths in the state. Oklahoma's governor signed a bill into law yesterday, decriminalizing the strips in his state. New immigration rules take effect tonight at midnight when the pandemic-era public health policy known as Title 42 ends. It allowed the U.S. to quickly expel migrants due to COVID-19. In anticipation, the Biden administration has launched a number of new measures to crack down on illegal border crossings. Nicole Skanga reports from Brownsville, Texas.
A stream of migrants crossed into the U.S. into waiting Border Patrol vehicles in El Paso, Texas, hours before the new immigration rules are set to take effect.
Local governments need the funding to create the infrastructure to help these immigrants that are applying legally, who are coming and asking for asylum.
Migrants also lined up at border crossings into Arizona and California. Others waded through the Rio Grande. This man from Venezuela said people are in such a hurry because they were told after Thursday they won't be allowed in. Under the new policy, migrants won't be able to gain asylum in the U.S. without applying for it in another country or through an app. And those caught crossing illegally will now face a 5-year ban from the U.S. and possible criminal charges. Here in Brownsville, Texas, migrants are dropped off by U.S. Border Patrol officials at this bus station. They're given a meal, clothing, and limited guidance, but still so many confused about the legal path forward. The Biden administration acknowledges the next few weeks will likely be challenging.
It is going to take a period of time for our approach to actually gain traction and show results.
U.S. officials have also increased deportation flights, like this one to Honduras, with the aim of curbing an increasing number of border crossings. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Brownsville, Texas.
Another new Biden administration policy will require migrant families seeking asylum to undergo GPS tracking and home curfews while officials determine whether they should be allowed to stay in the country or be deported. Israeli forces renewed airstrikes on Gaza, killing 3 people, including an Islamic Jihad commander. That's according to Palestinian officials. Israel says the commander was responsible for the rocket barrages launched at them. Gaza's health ministry says 25 people have been killed since Israel first launched airstrikes Tuesday. Israel claims 4 of those deaths are from militant rockets falling short of their targets. Still ahead, making small cars safer.
Crash tests in small cars show a higher risk of injuries for people in the back seat. I'm Danya Backus, and I'll show you what researchers discovered.
And next in Health Watch, how the American Lung Association is raising awareness about the risks of lung cancer. Topping today's Health Watch, the nation's COVID-19 public health emergency expires tonight at 10:59 our time. With many Americans now vaccinated against the virus, COVID deaths and hospitalizations have dropped dramatically. Free tests won't be as readily available, and the CDC will no longer collect state and local data on COVID cases. A new study shows sleep apnea might raise the risk of long COVID. An analysis of 1.8 million patients showed obstructive sleep apnea raised the risk of long COVID term effects from COVID by 89% in women, 59% in men. But that group of people also had other conditions like obesity, diabetes, or high blood pressure. When researchers looked at a group of 330,000 patients without comorbidities, the increased risk dropped to just 12%. People with sleep apnea might be more likely to have brain biomarkers linked to increased risk of stroke and cognitive decline. Researchers at the Mayo Clinic found people who get less quality sleep showed more visible lesions during brain scans, which can be a sign of early cerebrovascular disease. It's Lung Cancer Action Week. The American Lung Association hopes to raise awareness for the leading cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. Stephanie Stahl introduces us to a man battling that disease.
Aaron Hawkins has run in 46 marathons and is proud to show off his hardware.
These are my marathon medals.
The 47-year-old is the picture of health, but that didn't keep him from getting lung cancer.
I was never a smoker, but that doesn't preclude you from getting lung cancer.
And what do they attribute this to?
They really don't know.
Doctors say there are a growing number of young people like Aaron being diagnosed. While smoking remains the main cause of lung cancer, radon exposure and pollution also increase the risk. For Aaron, the spot on his lung was found incidentally during a cholesterol screening.
My story would be completely different if I got diagnosed a year later.
If lung cancer is caught early, it can be treated and sometimes cured.
Dr. Albert Rizzo with the Lung Association says the problem is there usually are not symptoms early, and screenings are only offered for smokers. If there aren't any symptoms, how do you find it early?
Really, there's no good screening for it. So it's a gap in our research and a gap in knowledge.
Aiming to close that gap, buildings are being illuminated in turquoise this week to raise awareness during Lung Cancer Action Week.
Lung cancer is still the #1 cause of cancer death for both men and women.
That's partly because millions who are eligible for screenings don't get them, but survival rates for lung cancer have increased 25% because of improved treatments.
I'm a lucky one because I caught it early.
Aaron had surgery and is back to running, now a Lung Force hero on the front lines fighting the leading cancer killer. Stephanie Stahl, CBS News, Philadelphia.
To learn more about how to keep your lungs healthy, as well as information about lung disease, you can visit lung.org. Pretty simple. A new 3-drug combination developed at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute is helping fight advanced kidney disease. Previously untreated cancer patients receiving 3-drug combination had a 27% lower risk of progression or death compared to those taking 2 immunotherapy drugs. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, the Biden administration announces new power plant regulations aimed at combating pollution.
Plus another chance for thunderstorms rolling in later on tonight. We're going to have those details coming up. Well, we had some morning showers, even a few random little thunderstorms, and then this afternoon has actually turned out to be a nice day. It's warm, it's humid outside. We have those cumulus clouds popping up, which you can see on our Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Tower Cam, of course, Indigo, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. Temperature is warming up. 76 Fort Scott, it's 78 in Neosho, it's 80 in Veneta, 79 in Neodesha. It looks pretty good though. Here's 7th and Rangeline, currently outside sitting at 78. Feels like 80. We have those southerly winds at about 5 to 10. Those are going to pick up a little bit as we go through the next couple days. So light southerly wind, but it's going to get a little breezy for us as we go through the next couple days. If you're getting outside this evening, it's fine. We're going to be dropping back through the 70s, but we may get some showers and thunderstorms in here after 10 p.m. if they can develop out to our west. So that's what we're going to watch as we go through the evening hours. All right, morning showers out of here. You can see the cumulus clouds popping up across the region. We do have severe weather out to our west across parts of Kansas and then again into parts of Oklahoma. Our big upper level low just kind of sitting out here, eastern parts of Colorado. And it's been that guy that has caused us the scattered thunderstorms and severe weather. We've had 2 events already this week on Monday and Tuesday. So we have thunderstorms out across western Kansas. Those won't affect us, but these could. You can see them getting going in southern parts of Oklahoma. And if we can get a few to pop up near Oklahoma City or along the I-35 corridor, those will try to get in here later on this evening. But again, we got to watch and see if they even get going. So let's go through the evening hours. It looks fine. Once we get to about 9:30, 10 o'clock, a few thunderstorms out to our west. Try to get in here. So here's 11:30, northeastern parts of Oklahoma. A cluster tries to get in here midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. If these can develop, these will be strong to low-grade severe with a threat of hail and wind as we go through the overnight hours. Here's 2:30 in the morning. And then any that would develop will mainly be out of here by 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning as we go into Friday morning. Then we look at Friday, another severe threat kind of splitting around us, but I think we at least have a slight threat, especially on the Kansas and Oklahoma side for tomorrow evening. So 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. we'll keep all the threats slight at this point in time, but something we want to keep our eyes on. All right, let's go into the overnight hours tonight. The scattered thunderstorms kind of pushing through. And then by noon tomorrow, we're back near 80. Once we get into the afternoon, 83, 84 degrees. But then we're going to watch and see what can get going out across our western counties. So here's 7:30 p.m. Again, if any thunderstorms can get going, those will be strong to severe and then kind of push through. Most of Saturday looks pretty good, and then we get some more thunderstorms in here by Saturday evening. So kind of active over the next few days. 84 for us tomorrow, 84 Saturday. Sunday, scattered thunderstorms mainly kind of all through the day, but most of Saturday is going to be dry, and then rain chances lasting into Monday, and then we dry out for a few days and cool down for the middle of next week.
What rain we have gotten for the most part has been welcome.
Yes, we need it so bad.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up, an insurance organization is adding criteria to its crash tests in an effort to make small cars safer. Topping today's Consumer Watch, the Biden administration revealed a sweeping new plan to cut greenhouse gas emissions from the nation's power plants. EPA officials said the rule would cut carbon dioxide from the atmosphere roughly equivalent to the annual emissions of 140 million cars, preventing 1,300 premature deaths each year. The proposal would mark the first time the federal government has restricted carbon dioxide output from existing smokestacks. Energy industry groups are pushing back, saying the plan would force the premature closing of coal-powered plants. The Consumer Price Index slowed for the 10th month in a row, according to the latest Labor Department report. April consumer prices were 4.9% higher than a year ago. It's the first time inflation data has been below 5% in 2 years. It was led by a drop in food costs, with milk prices down around 2% and the price of bacon down almost 9%. Ford is releasing a truck in the U.S. that's already pretty familiar to people in other countries. The mid-size Ranger is sold in more than 180 global markets and is a bestseller in 17 of them. It's smaller than Ford's big F-10 trucks that are top dogs domestically, but larger than a car like Ford Maverick. The U.S. has had a version of it since 2018, but yesterday the company unveiled the redesign. It's set to compete with the Toyota Tacoma, Honda Ridgeline, Jeep Gladiator, Nissan Frontier, Chevrolet Colorado, and GMC Canyon. 3 of those have new design work of their own. Cars are better than ever at protecting passengers in a crash, but an insurance organization wants to make them even safer and is adding new criteria to its crash tests. Danya Bacchus reports.
The Insurance Institute for Highway Safety drove 5 popular small cars into a barrier at 40 miles per hour. All the vehicles did a good job protecting the driver.
Unfortunately, they did not do a good job of protecting the rear passenger.
IIHS President David Harkey says researchers used a dummy about the size of a 12-year-old in the back. They found the seatbelt slid from the hip bones to the abdomen during the crash, which can cause internal injuries.
What we want to see is for that lap belt to stay in position and hold that dummy's entire torso region tight against the rear seat.
Measuring injuries in the back seat is a test the IIHS recently added. Earlier this year, the group tested SUVs and the results were also poor. Harkey says seatbelts in the back need to be more like those in the front, with better anchor points and a tension system that mitigates the force of the crash.
If we can get that technology in the rear seat, we believe we can immediately start to move some of these vehicles from poor ratings to acceptable or good ratings.
Automakers are already designing those changes in future vehicles, which is expected to make cars even safer. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And Altria has agreed to pay $235 million to settle at least 6,000 Juul-related state and federal cases. Those lawsuits claim the former Juul investor helped fuel the rise of teen vaping. In a statement, Altria said they believe the claims against them are meritless, but the settlement avoids the uncertainty and expense of a protracted legal process. That's a quote. A final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, putting a spotlight on all the hard work mothers put in just in time for Mother's Day. And then on KOAM News at 6, how the Joplin Police Department is trying to reach more of the community with its National Night Out event. Plus, we're going to have more on the volunteer cleanup efforts at the Frisco Trail in Joplin. And Missouri Southern Softball kicks off the Division II National Tournament against Minnesota Duluth. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. We're looking at least the possibility that some of us are going to get some more rain this evening.
Yeah, if we can get thunderstorms to develop out across central Oklahoma later on tonight, we will get some scattered showers and thunderstorms in here as we go through, let's say 10 p.m. to about 2 a.m. Chances stick around again tomorrow evening. Some of those could be strong to severe.
Thanks for joining us. CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we'll be right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.